So you have to forgive the length of this video, but I noticed there was a lot of people wondering what to do with their chickens in the winter. So I thought I'd show everybody my setup. So you can see I've got my coop completely wrapped, at least the run anyway. So I come out every morning, bring my egg basket, open up the front nesting box, just to see what all the tasty treats that will be sitting there waiting for us. As you can see, the dogs are super excited to get their treat. So every morning I go out and I give them an egg because they kind of protect the coop anyways, and I feel like they deserve a bit of a treat for doing so. So I collect the eggs and put them in my little basket, and sometimes there's one sitting in there. This is Charlie. She's always sitting in there. For some reason, she's remaining broody and she just doesn't want to ever leave, so that's fine. She looks after the eggs, so she doesn't mind me reaching underneath to grab her. She never pecks at me. She never gets upset. She just lets me do my thing. You can see I got golf balls in there too. The reason why I do is it was to deter them from pecking the eggs. Oh, and there is kind of the secret to my chicken coop is I have a de-icing cable that I've used to heat. The problem with chickens is their feet get very cold. So what I came up with was a way to keep their feet nice and toasty when they're in the nesting box and on the roosting bars. Now this part of my coop I really like too. This is part of the design. I'd like to take credit for this, but I'm not going to. This was a guy that I got the plans from online. And let me tell you, this has saved so much time and so much mess. I literally just have to open up the coop and scrape all the poop into the bucket. It's always in the same spot. The only issue I ever have is if it's really cold, then I have to scrape the poop off the tray, but 99% of the time it works like a charm, and I just keep that little scraper in there. And the only really bad part of the whole thing is I got to prevent the chickens from trying to run out. But oh, and there's the roosting bars. So what I did is I routed out a couple of spots in 2x4s and inlaid the de-icing cables. That's my wiring hookup for inside the coop. Oh, and there's the insulation. That is a prime example of why you should cover up the insulation, because they get bored at night and peck away at it. You can see me covering up the poop bucket so it doesn't smell in there. Then I lock her all up, and that's basically how I clean the coop every single day. It's a super easy thing. Takes about a month and a half for me to fill up the bucket, and now I'm going to walk into the run. And I've got a deep bit of bedding inside the coop to make sure, again, that their feet stay relatively warm. Oh, there's Cracker. Hi, Cracker. Cracker's a superstar. All the girls come say hello. They seem to like to peck the snow off my boot. There is something that didn't work. That stupid door. Don't get one of those unless you spend a lot of money on one. That's the cheap one from Amazon. It's terrible. It's got a plastic gear on it. It didn't really work from the whole get-go, so I just kind of abandoned it. There's my feeders. Amazing. So I got 2 of those feeders right there. And if I buy 1 bag of feed, I can fill up that small feeder, those 2 tube feeders, and the spare bucket. That's just a standard water. Oh, and there's my mouse traps. So this year, in the year 2024, I have caught 104 mice inside this coop. And this leads me to my favorite part of the whole thing. This is what I do every day. I go in and say hello to the girls. And for some reason, we have a habit now where I come in, I sit down, they line up, I grab them, I scratch them, they go floof, and life is grand. You know, these are wonderful animals, and, you know, they need some loving too. And I just started doing this when they were young, and now we're all in a habit of doing it. Isn't this amazing? They line up. We play this little game where I have to catch them. It's just seems to be the way. But I catch them. I scratch their backside there, and you can see they love it. And then they go floof. Every single one of them. It's hilarious. It's quite funny. And then I've got Cracker. There's Cracker. Isn't she glorious? If you watch some of my other videos, kind of tells you what happens with Cracker and why she started doing this. But yeah, she's a superstar. She is a great pet. She lays eggs. She gives us food. It's a wonderful symbiotic relationship. Bless her heart.